Hey, what's up? I'm gonna kind of take a second to explain something that I've been doing in these videos for the past 2 days, and I kind of intended to continue. Obviously, it's the summer, I have a bunch of free time now, or just much more. What I'm trying to do every day is either make a video with like higher production value, so like just spend a lot of time on filming and making a good video, or focus on a thing that I can do that will challenge me to learn a new technical aspect in like editing or in the way that I'm filming, like composition, something like that. So either learn or try a new thing in the video. Like yesterday was stop motion, the day before was the masks that I did. My original idea for it I couldn't do. I hadn't learned the process of doing it. I'd never done it before. I kind of thought I knew how you could do it, and I was actually mostly right. I just hadn't really done it before because, I don't know, I hadn't really thought it was necessary. It's definitely not a thing that I would do all the time, of course, but it's kind of cool. So I'm just trying to learn some new stuff and new techniques, new styles and whatever, so that I basically have more options and more ability to make videos differently. Just like different stuff, kind of try it out, see if I like it, see if I can learn how to do it better, so that I can improve, because that's what these are all about. It's about me making things that are better. Today I kind of wanted to make a video based around color grading. So I have done some in the past, but I wanted to do a video where I focus on that much more heavily to kind of see different styles, different looks. This is normal, and then this is with color grading on. Maybe it makes a big difference, maybe it doesn't. This background is very bland, which I was kind of going for some of these shots to see what kind of impact it would have. So maybe I'll just have a bunch of B-roll here, maybe I'll talk about something. I don't know, I was thinking I might do like a movie review. Oh, I'll do Fahrenheit 451, perfect. Hey, what's up? New setting, am I right? Here's a bunch of colors. We're going to see how the color grading stuff looks with all of this. We'll try a few different looks. I'll just kind of move around in it as we're going. Anyway, I'm not going to keep talking about that. You'll notice it. Okay, so Fahrenheit 451, HBO made it, starring Michael B. Jordan. I don't know who the director is actually. In school, I actually had to read Fahrenheit 451, and I remember nobody liking that book. Everyone hated it except for me. I thought it was like my favorite book that I read in school. I thought it was really interesting, and I just kind of loved the whole idea of it. Maybe this review's a little bit more biased because I just like the concept a lot in general, so less of a completely filmmaking standpoint. I just enjoy it. The interpretation of it was different. It was modernized from when it was written. I'm not certain when the book was written, but it's slightly different. And then there was also a movie made that I also saw the older version, much different. I thought that the newer one would be a little bit more similar to that, but I'm not really sure why 100%, because it's definitely just modernized, you know. Performance by Michael B. Jordan was quite good. I think that he is a pretty darn good actor. Felt like Blade Runner kind of in the futuristic stuff on buildings and whatever. There's a thing in the movie called the Nine, I think they called it. It's basically like a social media kind of that everyone uses. Basically everyone's on it. It's used for video, people watch stuff on it, it's hooked up to everything. I love the way they had the Big Brother aspect. I was thinking when I was watching the movie that I was kind of upset that it won't win any awards. That's not true. I think that it can win awards, but it can't win Best Picture because it came out on HBO and was not in theaters. Anyway, I don't really like that kind of thing, that discrimination, and it's preserving the cinema. Let's move. We got enough of this background. Okay, so I read this thing on MOVIEPASS, and if you don't know what MOVIEPASS is, it's essentially a service where you pay $10 a month and you can, I believe, go see as many movies as you want. I think it's just $10 a month and you can go see as many movies as you want. Basically, some theaters are very upset that this is a thing because they don't get to control prices as much, but like MoviePass pays full price to the theaters. People think that it's not a substantial or like a lasting business model, which might be true, I don't know. They say they have money and whatever, and like they're fine, and they're working on monetizing stuff more heavily with ads and whatever, and I honestly think that's justified enough. Movie tickets, like one ticket, it's like it was just me going, it's like maybe like 16 bucks if I'm buying through like Fandango or something. MoviePass would be $10 a month for as many movies as you want to see. That's already, seeing one movie is more economic than paying for a ticket. MoviePass is saying they're helping people get to the movies, and like they're paying full price. They're working on getting deals with theaters where they'll get more of the ticket sales, like money and stuff like that. Anyway, that's not important. But so some theaters are upset, some theaters love it because it's getting more people to go. So the whole thing about it is, man, I can't think right now. What is wrong with me? I can't remember what I was gonna say. I'll just say why I don't have it and kind of my thoughts on it. I want to make movies professionally. That's what I want my career to be. I'm not gonna buy MoviePass because I care enough to support like the arts and stuff like that. So like I buy my own music like on my phone. I don't use like Spotify or anything like that. Because my thought is, if I'm not willing to pay for my stuff, like to go see a movie, like if I'm not willing to pay full price and all that stuff, how am I expecting someone else to pay full price to go see something that I made? Yeah, I guess that's the main reason. My thoughts conflicted. I think it's great if it's getting people to go to the movies, because people normally don't go to the movies to see like maybe 3 movies a year, and they're always like Star Wars superhero movies or like Mission Impossible. So like big blockbuster movies. It's not like quality cinema. And I'm not saying you can't have a big blockbuster movie that's also a good movie. God, I just like say things and then I end up editing them out because they're so extraneous and unnecessary. But if you saw a full cut of these videos, you'd be like, wow, this is really a waste of time. It's like, yeah, if it can get people to go see movies, want people to keep going to see movies, I want people to watch movies and be more, if this probably makes it more likely that people will go see what I would say like quality movies, like films and stuff like that, whereas they wouldn't before, because they wouldn't want to justify spending like $16 on a ticket just for one person. But I can also see people not liking it. I also kind of get that. It seems like in a way maybe it's devaluing movies or going to the movies. Ticket prices have risen so much, and ticket sales have gone down so much. So less people are going to see them, going to the movies, and ticket prices are going up. And obviously that's how they have to do it to account for their losses, but they're justifying it by making really nice theaters. I mean, these theaters are beautiful, but at the same time, it's like, it's expensive, man. Good thing it's getting people to go to the movies. Bad thing, it's kind of maybe devaluing movies a little bit. I can talk about another thing. Alright, we're gonna move though, so I can get more colors in there. Really, man, I was just about to film, and this air conditioner right there comes on, ruins everything. It's so loud, I have to move. Okay, so we got some more colors behind me here. I think I need to start doing tighter framing, but I'm focusing on color today, so I'm fine with getting all this space so that I can have all these colors. See, this is light behind me, different kind of... I was reading the same edition of Variety that they were talking about the MoviePass. Orson Welles, many of you may know about Citizen Kane if you care about movies. Apparently he filmed a movie and then died before the movie could be edited and released and stuff like that. Netflix apparently funded the project to recreate or like put together that movie that was filmed. This is a rough understanding. I'm not sure if it's like 100% or anything like that, so don't take my word 100%. If you're kind of interested in it, just look it up, or I'll see if I can find the thing in Variety online, or it already is up on Netflix now. I'm not 100% sure actually if it is. I haven't checked. So it was gonna be shown and competing at Cannes, Cannes in France, and then over in France, the officials said this can't compete because it didn't have a theatrical release. Kind of them trying to preserve cinema, which I can kind of understand. This also kind of goes along with the MOVIEPASS debate. And then here's the other thing. So legally in France, a movie cannot be put onto a streaming service until it has been in theaters for 3 years. Not like the movie is in theaters for a consistent 3 years, but like it was released in theaters 3 years ago and then it can be on a streaming service. So there's no way that Netflix could have that movie compete in Cannes. I don't know why it can just be shown though. Because Cannes was saying that they could just show the movie, and Netflix was saying, no, if we can't compete, we're not going to be here at all. It's happening a bunch. Netflix is pissed, and they're like, hey, we should be able to compete and stuff like that, because they are making movies, and they're doing stuff. Mudbound was a great movie from last year. It was not even able to be nominated for Best Picture because it wasn't in theaters for 2 weeks. Someone was just looking at me now. I can't remember what I was saying. I don't see why Netflix couldn't put their movies in theaters. I get that their whole thing, they're a streaming service, you know, they want people to have to pay for Netflix to be able to watch their stuff, which I totally understand. But also, I want to watch movies in a theater because it's better. I've done a whole video on that. I'm not going to talk about it, but I think it's great that Netflix is making all these movies and they're great, but you know, you never even get the opportunity to see them on a theater or on like the big screen unless maybe it was at a film festival before it got picked up by Netflix. So it's kind of a shame, but I also think that times are changing. Preservation of cinema might be one thing, and like respect for going to theaters and stuff like that, but at the same time, times are changing. Like Netflix is making movies, and so these film festivals I think need to be like, okay, you can compete and you can have your movies here, because it's just like, why not? Their movies, people's definition of movies is so like singular. They're like, oh, it's this thing you see in a movie theater, and they're like an hour and a half to like 2.5 hours long. Preconceived notions, I get it. You know, that's what people are used to, but at the same time, these new things are being made, and they're not even able to get like credit recognition from critics and stuff like that, that would, I don't know, kind of be substantial or maybe deserved from these movies. Say The Shape of Water was purchased by Netflix and was put out by Netflix. So it never would have been able to be nominated for Best Picture. And if it's the best movie of the year last year, and it wasn't even able to be like declared as Best Picture, I think that that's almost embarrassing by the Oscars or whatever. And in the Variety, they said nobody would expect the Oscars to nominate a movie that came out on Netflix for Best Picture. And my thought is, but why not? There's not really any reason. Sure, the Oscars are a very respected thing. I respect them very heavily. Like, goals are to, you know, make movies great enough to maybe win an Oscar. It would be ignorant and wrong to not give these great movies the credit that they deserve. I don't know if the Citizen Kane movie is a great movie. I'm just talking about movies in general, and the streaming services and stuff like that. What if the best movie ever came out on like Netflix or something, okay? Like, maybe it wasn't even made by Netflix, maybe it was made by Netflix, who cares? But it comes out on Netflix, it doesn't have a theatrical release, which I think sucks, personally, just because you never get the opportunity to watch it in a theater. Then it can't win anything, and maybe everyone's like, God, this movie is so good. This is the best movie I've ever seen, ever. The cinematography is beautiful, the score is beautiful. But guess what? It can't even be nominated for Best Picture because Because of what? Because people have decided that they don't want that. If you're making a great movie, it should be accepted as a great movie, and it should have the ability to win awards. And it's film. It doesn't have anything to do with it's a movie because it was in a theater. I think that's stupid. It should be respected if it's respectable, you know? You're telling me that that monster truck movie made by Nickelodeon like 2 years ago or something, where there's like a squid monster thing in his truck, could be nominated for Best Picture, but Mudbound could not? That's the thing that's frustrating, that these terrible movies have the ability to be nominated, but some of the best movies on a streaming service does not even have the ability. Maybe it needs to be rethought. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below. It means a lot. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.